Welcome to our house. This is the Screenplay Podcast. I'm your host, Evan Grenis, and with me, as always, is PGA Tour player Andrew Novak.
What's up, everyone? This is the last week of no football. First game coming this Thursday. I'm so excited, and we're here to break it down for you.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Screenplay_podcast. New episodes drop every Wednesday, 8 a.m., all season long on your favorite podcast streaming service. So all of my drafts are complete now. We got the first game coming up on Thursday. Are all your drafts done? Still got any more left?
Yeah, yeah. I had two of them this past week or so, and yeah, they're all done, ready to go for the season.
I mean, I guess the smartest time to have your draft is either probably one of these Labor Day, a day
Yeah,
after. I mean, closest to the season when we know the most information.
for sure.
Um, I love drafting. I freaking love it. Like that 90 minutes that I get in like a draft room. Oh, I look forward to that all year. You're on FaceTime with like your league. You're grinding it out. It's like 9:45 at night. You've been doing this for an hour already. You're in the 13th round and you're just busting each other's balls still that you took a kicker in this round or what, I
Yeah,
don't know, whatever it may be. Yeah, but I live
we
for it.
we were we were drafting in the league we're doing with some of our college teammates. And I'm just getting texted on the side by Evan the entire time, just ripping everybody for all their selections. Like, what is this guy doing? I can't believe I just got this guy. Like the whole time, just running stream.
It's funny. You can tell. I mean, yeah, you can tell who's been paying attention and who hasn't been over the past couple weeks. So through your drafts that you did, what were some shockers? What were some trends that you saw play
Yeah,
out throughout the draft that maybe ADP wasn't picking up on?
yeah. So it was interesting. I did, one league was an auction league, and that was in person. And then I did an ESPN draft, snake draft with us, and it was like with the auction, like you always see some craziness, like because stuff just goes how it goes. Like guys want their guys, and stuff falls weird. Like we had Amon Ra go for more than Tyreek Hill, and Tyreek Hill go for more than CD. Now I know that was people are about there, but like stuff just sometimes happens like that. We had some interesting ones, like Dalton Kincaid actually went more than Mark Andrews, which you might agree with. I know you're a big Dalton Kincaid guy, but typically you would think that the values would go the other way.
He went early in a lot of drafts,
Yeah,
earlier than expected. Yeah, I mean, I think one of the most popular trends that I saw was Josh Allen falling. Um,
yeah, that he
Pretty much
Josh
every
Allen, he went for less than Mahomes in our
yeah,
auction league.
yeah.
Now that is 6 point passing touchdowns in that league, so it's a
Right.
little
Leagues
bit
are all different, but still, I'm for the
running's a
drafts that
little less.
I went. He
But
never went earlier than fourth round in any draft that
yeah.
I played. So I think he was projected like late two, early three. That
Mhm.
was a big dropper. Where did you see Brees Hall falling in your drafts? I saw him all over the
Yeah.
place.
So, well, Reese was kept in our auction league. Everybody gets one keeper. You can keep for 10 more than what you got in the previous year. And we had a sharp guy take him last year coming off the knee injury for cheap. So he got to keep him for really good value this year. So he's going to be in good shape. But I think in our league, he went like mid first. What do you go, like sixth, fifth, something like that?
I mean, I
So
was running
about at
mock.
value.
Yeah, I've been running mocks for a month and I saw him going everywhere from two to nine, 10. And
Yeah.
then in one of my major drafts on Monday, he went 10th overall. And the guy picking
That,
10th never even had him on his board, never thinking he would get to him.
yeah,
Shout out
that's
Justin for
crazy.
that on the first round drop to
I
Brees
will
Hall.
say one of the biggest things I noticed though, like I was doing all this prep for auction, so I had generally like where I had guys rated
Hmm.
ish, and then I went and did that ESPN draft. I hadn't done any ESPN mocks all year. I'd done
Right.
like someone's sleeper and stuff, but the ESPN ADPs were like crazy. Like
They were a
I
good 2 or 3 rounds off potentially what
on certain I
another
was like
app is on. Yeah.
I drafted, I was picking two. So then I came to the turn and I was looking, I was like, where did all the running backs go? And so then I just ended up going wide receiver, wide receiver. I didn't realize Achan was back at like 40. So I didn't even scroll far enough down.
Yeah.
He was like sitting for like, obviously the pick never came back around for me in time. But I just got caught sleeping there because I was like, man, I had no idea he was that far down in ADP. They got Rasheed Rice in like 100 or something like that. Like, that guy's gonna be wide receiver one for the Chiefs. He's not gonna get suspended this year. Like
Right.
that's crazy. So I don't know. There was some wild numbers on there that I was just not expecting as I was scrolling around the ADP. So
Yeah. Who are some players that you're happy you grabbed? You're glad you're going to get a piece of it this season. Whether it's one of those high powered offenses or a backup somewhere that you think is going to get some work.
yeah, I was glad to grab like I caught a couple flyers on like a Rico Dowdle, a Chase Brown. I have no idea if they hit, but they're dice rolls and they're cheap.
Yeah, you told me about
So
that Rico Dowdle, and then I saw that he is likely to get the highest percentage of snaps on that team, and they're
yeah,
taking him out of special teams duty. So I
it's
like
just
that
dart
too.
throws. I mean, they may not hit, but you're taking them late anyway.
Yeah.
And like Zeke and Dalvin Cook are ancient. They have no like they don't have the juice anymore. Like they're not fast, they're not dynamic or anything. You know, you can give it to them and they'll get 3 yards. You might be able to throw it to Zeke, you can catch and stuff, but like they're not going to be game changers. They're not going to really make splash plays. So I think it's very possible like Rico Dowdle could end up just kind of taking over because he can actually do something. I mean, if they're, you know, if the Cowboys start struggling, they're down in games, they need a guy to dump it off to a bunch, he can catch. Uh, they've been talking about his pass pro has gotten better. So just I love getting some later guys like that, that if they blow up, they end up really helping um, add on to what you take early. I don't get too crazy early on. I usually, you know, take the value and then just dart throws late and then hope that that's where I get my value and that's where I win from.
Yeah, I like it. I took Jerome Ford every chance I got in all
Yeah.
my drafts. I love his value. We were talking about it last week. Who's a player or two that you missed on? You didn't get a piece of in anything. They never
Yeah.
fell to you. I had a couple players I really wanted, but couldn't get to them. So, who are they for
In the
you?
in the auction, I went in with the plan of just taking Malik Neighbors. I wanted him on the team, especially with the keeper aspect. I figured I'm not going to have Daniel Jones next year as quarterback, so that can only be a boost. So I figured if I could get him, you know, around the 15 to 20ish range, be able to keep him for like 25. Now, I mean, he could be like a 3-year keeper kind of thing if he's the player that I think he is.
I got Malik
And
Neighbors
he and
in the fourth round as my
yeah,
third wide receiver. Pretty pumped
yeah.
about that.
He ended up going for almost 30 in our auction. He went for more than Jalen. He went for more value than Jalen Waddle. He went for more value than Devontae Smith, more than DK Metcalf. Like
I
he
think that
just
makes
the guy
sense.
that
I
wanted
think
him
that
wanted
makes
him.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah, he just really wanted him, and I couldn't do it. So might end up regretting that, but is what it is. And then I didn't get Jonathan Brooks. Another guy really wanted him too, and obviously being a Panthers fan, being biased there, I really wanted that, but it just again it didn't work out. The guy was willing to spend like double digits on him, and he's just not really going to play much this year. So again, another good play for maybe a keeper going forward, but I just with where I was in my budget, it just wasn't going to work.
Yeah, for me it was Ferguson, tight end for the Cowboys.
Mhm.
Every league I tried getting him pretty late, like a seventh, eighth round Ferguson, and
Yeah,
it never happened. He went early every time. He
yeah,
went in like the sixth round, so I think he's
yeah.
gonna get a ton of targets with the Cowboys this year. Missed a piece of that. And then I never got my hands on DJ Moore. I think he's gonna go crazy this year in Chicago.
Yeah,
And if he does, it'll only be hurting me because I don't have him.
yeah, definitely.
All right. So I don't know if it was this week, last week. Brady, Manning were talking. They gave their top quarterbacks in the league. They both agreed on four quarterbacks, their top four: Mahomes, Allen, Jackson, and Burrow. Uh, Leaves a pretty big question. Who is the fifth best quarterback in the NFL right now? You could make an argument for probably about four or five guys. You could make a realistic argument for. Who are you going with?
I kind of had it down to three, and honestly, I think I am going CJ Stroud. I know it's after 1 year, but I think it is CJ Stroud. I was very close. The other two I was kind of looking at was Jalen Hurts and Justin Herbert, actually, as well. I think he's just in a horrible situation, but I believe in the talent there. But with how much he proved it last year, I'm taking CJ Stroud at 5.
Yeah, I was right there. It's CJ Stroud or uh, for me it's Stafford. It's just the age thing. He's kind of
Mhm.
way older than the other four, but Stafford has the Super Bowl. Um
So how's it not Jordan Love? I thought you said he was the seventh best player in the NFL
He's
in the
the well, that's
podcast
the
2 weeks
thing.
ago.
That's the thing.
Where's your Jordan Love pick? I thought for sure you'd have Jordan Love.
I have Love and CJ Stroud right there, right behind Stafford with Herbert.
Okay.
But Stafford's proved it in the playoffs that he can get it done. So
Yeah, yeah,
I put him in the five. I mean, CJ Stroud, he had one good year, got some playoff wins,
yeah.
but he's got to take the next step, and then he will definitely be that number five quarterback. All right, it's a little fun segment here. I was thinking about this the other day, just getting into NFL. And what are your favorite uniforms in the NFL? And what are your least favorite uniforms? Who's got the best? Who's got the worst?
All right. So I'm a little biased here being a Panthers fan,
Oh
but the
man.
Panthers color rush, Carolina, not even Carolina blue. I don't even know what blue it is, but the color rush from Thanksgiving, what was it, about 10 years ago when they just absolutely torched Tony Romo on them. That all blue uniform is about as good as it gets. I also got to show a little love to the powder blue, the Chargers run. I mean, it just looks so classic, so good. And then I'm actually a big fan of the Eagles Kelly Green. I think the Kelly Green looks really, really good, especially in a night game, especially with that whole stadium packed out with it. That's a pretty good one.
All right. Yeah, my favorite is I like the Commanders all black uniforms with the yellow accent right
With
now.
the yellow
That
trim, yeah.
thing looks disgusting. When you see Chase Young wearing that thing coming out, that's a sight. Um, I'm interested to see what the Bengals do with the all orange to start out this year at home. We'll see how that looks.
With the yeah, I did see they're doing the orange pants and everything.
Yeah. Who's got the worst uniform? Who is it?
So of current, the new Broncos uniforms look awful. They're like Mile High series or whatever. I hate them. They look terrible. But if we're counting all, I am not a fan of the Bears striped uniform with the striped helmet, the like striped pants thing. Not a fan of that. And then I don't know if you remember the Jags. I think it was Color Rush, but I'm not entirely sure. But they had those like mustard yellow uniforms for the Jags.
The Jags
They
all
were
around have bad
so bad.
uniforms. It's not
They were
good.
so no,
Yeah.
the Jags teal is not so bad, and even if they go like all white's fine, but the mustard yellow when they did that was awful,
I
really
tell you,
bad.
I really hate the Jets' current green uniform. There is nothing to that
Yeah,
whatsoever. It's just green and literally says Jets. It's terrible. All right. This is a surprise segment for Novak. I'm gonna hit him with some cap hit questions. So I'm gonna give you a blank, and you're gonna tell me the answer. All of these are related to the 2024 NFL cap hit.
boy,
All right. Blank is the biggest cap hit in the NFL this season.
Deshaun, no.
Dak Prescott.
Whoa,
Yep.
yikes.
All right. Next one. Daniel Jones is the blank biggest cap hit this year in the NFL.
We'll go 10th.
He is the third biggest cap hit in the NFL. Yeah, that face says it all right there by Andrew. For
I mean,
the
10th would be
podcast
bad.
listeners, it looked like he just smelled something really bad.
Hmm.
Um, Blank is the highest cap hit non-quarterback.
Justin Jefferson.
Max Crosby.
Okay, yeah, pass rush.
It's I knew you weren't gonna get that one. It's one of those
No,
ones where you're like, I'm not gonna
great
guess it,
player.
but when I say it, you're like,
Yeah, yeah,
oh. Hmm.
great player. That's fine.
All right. Chris Godwin is the blank largest cap hit this season.
Oh, this one's also going to be pretty stinky. We'll go like 15th.
It is exactly. Ding, ding, ding. 15th
Boom.
largest. That is a terrible sounding number for
Not good.
yeah. And Trent Williams is the blank largest cap hit this year.
With his new deal?
With his current it just got reworked, but it's still the same cap
Yeah.
hit.
Oh, okay.
He wanted
Oof.
more guaranteed money. It doesn't affect his cap hit this year.
I couldn't even tell you, like around 10th. I have no.
135.
Whoa.
Yeah, so
Okay.
they're paying Brock Purdy less than 1 million, and they're paying Trent Williams 10 mil this year. So their quarterback and left tackle combined are
Wow.
paying
Why did you
no,
get that?
are paying
That's
nothing.
great.
So that's why they are absolutely loaded on weapons right now.
Makes sense.
It's kind of a fun game. I was looking through the cap hits, and some of those things shocked me. All right, let's get into our power rankings. I'm gonna start from 10, work it down to 1. At 10, we got the Jets. Aaron Aaron Rodgers is back. Early schedule is very easy. On paper, they got a great O line. Garrett Wilson. The only thing is they got some pass rush questions. Hassan Reddick is not signed. And can Rodgers stay healthy all year long? At 9, we got the Buffalo Bills. They allowed the least number of sacks last year. 4 straight division titles. They got Josh Allen. It kind of seems like no matter what they do, they still kind of run that division. So got them at 9. 8, Miami Dolphins. I have them right ahead of the Bills. We have the AFC East there at 10-9-8.
Freedom.
Yeah, we just don't know what to do with them. I mean, they're all good, but they're all like just on the outside. So we got Miami Dolphins. They got weapons everywhere. Tua got paid. Mike McDaniel got paid. It's time to show out, show that they can play. At 7, we got the Eagles. New coordinators, tons of weapons, dudes everywhere. Uh, I don't know where they're bad. They got some defense and free agency. I think the thing is just Jalen Hurts, Nick Sirianni. Like, how's it going to work out this season? At 6, we got the Packers. Very young, good everywhere. Great coach, good O line. Average age on this team's 25. They might be a year away from like getting it done, but they're going to be good. At 5, we got the Texans. CJ Stroud doesn't make mistakes. They bring in Mixon. They bring in Diggs. They got a good young coach. Bring in Danielle Hunter. Texans are going to be good. We got the Ravens at 4. They're 20-1 against the NFC opponents. Decent pass catchers. Adding Derrick Henry. Can Lamar take the next step? At 3, we got Detroit Lions. They're great everywhere. 14 of their first 15 games are inside. They're going to score a lot of points. They boosted their defense. They got the best O line. They got weapons. I love the Lions. At 2, we got the 49ers. They kind of had a weird offseason, but they paid Ayuk. They got Trent Williams back on a new deal. 22-5 when CMC plays. 49ers at 2. At 1, we got the Chiefs, Super Bowl champs, coming off 2 in a row, looking for a three-peat. Until they show otherwise, they're going to be number 1. On paper, they're probably not the best team, but you can't argue with 2 in a row going for 3. Honorable mention. We'll put we got Bengals and Falcons at 11-12. They could move in after their week 1 play
I
or
can easily see the Bengals slotting in there for like the
yeah.
Bills.
Yep. How you hearing my mic? Good?
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, next segment. This is called Final Four. We're gonna give you our final 2 of the NFC, final 2 of the AFC. Our final 4. Who you got, Andrew?
In the AFC, I've got the Chiefs, no surprise, playing the Ravens. I've been looking at. I think we're getting a Thursday night, and then AFC Championship, a little rematch, and then on the NFC side, I'm taking the Packers and the 49ers.
The ratings on an AFC repeat championship game would be crazy. Uh, I got the Chiefs in that game. I got them playing the Bengals. I got the Bengals winning that division, getting to the AFC, doing that this year. And then on the NFC side, I've been saying this for a while. I got the Lions, and I think the 49ers get back there. So Lions, 49ers, Bengals, Chiefs. All right, fantasy football. Let's get back into it. Week 1 on the board. Week 1 stardom. I mean, you want to start everyone this week. Everyone has such high hopes. It's tough
Yep.
to find players to sit, but who are your borderline players week 1? You should start them.
Pretty much any borderline players in that Lions Rams game. It's the highest game total of the week. So you're looking at like a Jameson Williams, maybe like a David Montgomery, something like that. I'm liking those guys. Even like for the Rams, even dipping down, like if you got to stream like they got was it Colby Parkinson tight end there? Like if you stream the tight end, stream both quarterbacks. I don't care. I think that could end up being a bit of a shootout and definitely a game you want a part of. Next, I've got Andre Iosivas for the Bengals. It's starting to look like Jamar Chase is just not going to be playing maybe week one. And yeah, this is a game that they should put up some points against the Patriots. T. Higgins is going to get his, but somebody else got to catch the ball too. And this guy, he's a Ivy leaguer, good athlete, big target. Definitely could probably get in the end zone. So somebody that you could definitely run out there if you had to. And lastly, I'm going Zamir White against the Chargers. I just think the Raiders going to be able to run the ball. The Chargers have a problem with the Raiders. They just can't beat them. And I think he runs wild, definitely gets in the end zone at least once.
All right. I keep saying this guy's name a lot, but Jerome Ford versus Dallas. I think it's going to be a low scoring game, hoping Ford can punch one in the end zone. Brian Thomas Jr. versus Miami. I think right away he's going to be an impact player. I think you're going to see his point totals. I mean, he's expected 10 points this week. I expect more and higher projections going forward. Caleb Williams right off the block versus Tennessee. I think it's an easy start for him. He's projected for 16.5. I think he's going to have a lot of easy catches, a lot of yak, yard after catch, and a win versus Tennessee. I don't hate the start there. Cincinnati defense versus New England. New England's going to put up 3 points. So, that'll be good. And then, like you said, yeah, check out that Bengals situation. Those wide receivers with if Jamar's not playing. All right, week one sit 'em. Who should be sitting this week, even though you just drafted them?
Yeah. It's tough, man. Like it's week one. Like everybody can play, right? Like it's
Right.
it's hard to really pick on somebody. The one thing I did see that I did not like is any of the Cowboys running backs. Uh, Nobody really knows how that backfield's going to go. Like obviously Rico Dowdle could be the guy, could be Ezekiel Elliott. They brought in Dalvin Cook. Like it's kind of hard to project where that goes. So you just kind of have to assume it'll be a split until we see otherwise. And they're playing the Browns, which is just a really good defense. It's not a good matchup. I would try. I would avoid playing one of the running backs now until we know more. Wait till we kind of see some of how that split's going to look.
All right. This player, week one sit 'em. I really don't like him all season. I don't know why I haven't mentioned it. Zay Flowers. When Mark Andrew plays, Zay Flowers doesn't really do that much in fantasy. I think he averages 9 points when Mark Andrew plays. So Mark Andrews is back. You had Derrick Henry. Lamar Jackson has never gotten a wide receiver to a top 20 fantasy season. So it's unlikely to expect that Zay Flowers is going to make a jump in year two. I just don't see him doing a whole lot this season, especially against Kansas City D this week. Kirk Cousins versus Pittsburgh. He's got weapons, but it's going to take him a while to get used to them probably, and you're facing a tough D to start. Dak versus Cleveland. Cleveland's got a tough D, and the connection with CeeDee Lamb might take a week, 2, 3 to get into it. Tom Brady even said it today. He's like, listen, he's calling that game, and he was like, don't expect Dak and CD to be 100% on the same page. He hasn't been practicing with him. And then Jordan Addison versus the Giants. He's coming back off a little bit of an injury. He might be fine, but do you want to risk it week one when you got healthy players? I don't know.
Cool.
All right, gambling. Let's get into it. This is the fun section. Last year, Andrew went 31, 26, and 1 for a hit rate of 53.4%, and I went 42 and 29 for a hit rate of 59%. We were very successful last year. We are going to keep it going this year. I'm going to read through the schedule, see what we got this week. Thursday night, we kick it off Ravens at Chiefs. Chiefs favored by 3. Friday from Brazil, we got Packers and Eagles. Eagles are favored by 2.5. On Sunday in the 1 p.m. window, we got Panthers at Saints. Saints are favored by 4. We got Vikings at Giants. Giants getting 1.5. Patriots at Bengals. Bengals favored by 8.5. Steelers at Falcons. Falcons favored by 3. Texans at Colts. Colts getting 2.5. Cards at Bills. Bills favored by 6.5. Titans at Bears. Bears favored by 4. Jags at Dolphins. Dolphins favored by 3. 4 p.m. window, we get Broncos at Seahawks. Seahawks favored by 6. Raiders at Chargers. Chargers favored by 3. Cowboys at Browns. Browns favored by 2.5. Commanders at Bucks. Bucks favored by 3. And in the late night game, we get Rams at Lions. Lions favored by 3.5. Monday night, we get that big matchup with the Jets, Aaron Rodgers, and the 49ers. The 49ers are favored by 4.5 at home. What games are you looking forward to this week? What players are you looking forward to watching? We've been doing a ton of research all off season. So who really gets you going for this first week?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Thursday Friday game, like both of them could very easily be conference championship like potential like rematches. I mean, you got Kansas City and Baltimore, and you got Green Bay and Philly. Like awesome games to start off the season. But look at that Sunday slate. I think that Steelers Falcons game could be very fun to watch. A little Arthur Smith revenge for maybe the Falcons players that didn't get the ball when he was there or never got in the end zone or anything. And obviously going to be a big one for both those teams. And then obviously that Cleveland and Dallas game should be fun to watch. I think we're going to learn a lot about both teams from that one.
To touch on the Falcons, I think this is an interesting storyline to watch. Uh, let's say the Steelers do win this game, the Falcons start 0-1, then they play the Eagles and the Chiefs. If you're the Falcons and you start 0-3 and Kirk Cousins just got here, how fast do you start hearing Michael Penix rumors? I mean,
Honestly, it depends on how healthy. I mean, he's coming off of Achilles. That's a big injury to be coming back from. Like, I mean, you're getting thrown into it with that Pittsburgh defensive front, and then Eagles get after the quarterback. Can't say. I mean, he's going to be dodging some pressure for those first 3 weeks for sure.
yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing Texans and Colts. I want to see the new weapons with Houston and how CJ Stroud looks. And then I really want to see how AR-15 looks
Yeah,
with the Colts. I want to see how much running he's doing.
how healthy he looks. Yeah.
Yeah. I think another game you got you got to keep your eye on is Titans at Bears. How often have you been saying that? Like, oh, you got to watch the Titans play the Bears this week. Like,
That
I
sounds like a
can't remember the
Thursday night
last
game right
time.
there.
That
That
sounds,
just sounds awful.
I know, but I mean, everyone wants to see what the Bears are doing this week.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that'll be fun. And I think Monday night, Jets 49ers is going to get crazy numbers. We'll see if
Mhm.
Rodgers can get through the first quarter this time. All right.
All these,
So,
all
yeah.
these good games. I'll be watching the Panthers Saints on Sunday. Unbelievable. Yeah.
I know. I'm not. I guess I have to watch the Patriots, but it's
You
gonna
don't
be
have
it.
to.
No, I don't.
We
But
don't have to watch our teams. They're the two most unwatchable teams.
I know. All right, so we went over our gambling stats from last year. Both did well. Getting back into it. Week 1, we give 3 bets each week against the spread, uh, and we'll lock them in. So, what do you got, Andrew? What are your 3 this week?
I'm taking Atlanta -3 home against Pittsburgh. I think they get off to a good start. I think Kirk Cousins does come out firing, feeling good. I got a lot of belief in that offense, and I don't have a lot of belief in the Steelers' offense. So I think they can cover that spread. Second, the Dolphins start hot every year. I'm taking them -3 at home against Jacksonville. I could see Tyreek going for about 200 in this game. I think they come out really hot to a big game, big offensive performance from them. And then lastly, I've got the Raiders +3 at the Chargers. I'm not a Chargers believer there, and I think the Raiders definitely have their number. They come out strong in this game and really limit what the Chargers do offensively.
I like it. Week 1, there is a rule out there. Uh, Division dogs, take them. They do really well over the past 10 years. Bad teams just don't know they're bad yet. It's week 1. So they play crazy hard week 1 against a divisional opponent. So I love that Raiders +3. I think the Chargers are overvalued just with Harbaugh. I don't think they're that good. Raiders are probably actually a better team. I like Raiders +3. And then I will take your Panthers at +4.5
Yeah,
versus the Saints. Or I'm sorry, +4.
yeah,
Panthers
+4.
+4 versus the Saints. The Saints have the worst O-line in the NFL, and I've heard there's some problems down there. I think the Panthers could win this outright. I won't be betting on them a lot this season, but I am right now as a division dog in that opening game. And then I'm going to take the Bills -6.5. They start off strong, so I like the Bills killing the Cards in week 1 as they travel across the country. Lock them in. All right. So we got football starting this week. we'll be back next week. Get you a fantasy recap, who you should start, who you should sit, some new lines after we go 6-0 in those bets. Some conversation on the games of the week. But yeah, we're excited for a nice full long season of NFL fantasy football and discussing it with y'all.
Yeah, just cannot wait to actually have some games to break down and some actual news to talk about that matters. So, we're here. We made it to football season. Can't wait to watch.
Yeah, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at screenplay_podcast. New episodes every Wednesday, 8 a.m. on your favorite podcast streaming platform. Little shorter of an episode this week, but short, sweet, got you the information you need, and we'll be back next week to break it all down.
See y'all.
See y'all.